So let's get you going with the latest headline news we have. And in our first story, President Nana Akufo-Addo has removed the Electoral Commissioner Charlotte Osei and her two deputies, Amadou Sule and Georgina Opoku-Amankwah, from office for misbehavior and incompetence. And the removal is on the recommendation of a committee set up by the Chief Justice, Akufo, to investigate alleged acts of corruption, misconduct and misbehavior by the three commissioners. Their removal is with immediate effect. Here are excerpts of the statement released by Information Minister Dr. Mustafa Hamid. And it reads that there are reactions, especially from many quarters. It says the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, has on Thursday, the 28th of June 2018, removed from office the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies, Mr. Amadou Sule and Ms. Georgina Opoku-Amankwah, with immediate effect. This was after the committee set up by the Chief Justice, Justice Akufo, pursuant to Article 1464 of the 1992 Constitution, to investigate separate complaints brought against the three persons by Ghanaian citizens, recommended their removal from office. The committee recommended their removal on the basis of the stated misbehavior and incompetence pursuant to Article 1461 of the Constitution. The statement continues that the provision of Article 1469 of the Constitution require the President of the Republic to act in accordance with recommendations of the committee. And the statement concludes that President Akufo-Addo has, as a result, directed the three persons to hand over their respective schedules to the Director for Human Resource and General Services of the Electoral Commission and thank them for their services to the nation. It's signed by Mustafa Abdul Hamid, Minister for Information and Presidential Spokesperson. And there have been reactions, especially from the main opposition, National Democratic Congress. The party has served notice. It will fight the decision. There's already a demonstration planned for today. We'll bring you great coverage on it. But last night, the party had an emergency news conference, and we'll bring you excerpts from that event.
Demand almost immediately that they must give us reasons for which they think that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the two deputies stand indicted and should be removed from office. It is very clear that this government that has so far failed, for me, Ghanaians everywhere you pass are saying this government, we will see its back in 2020. So they attempt, and the fear for which reason they have set out to remove an arbiter of our elections and the two deputies so as to allow them to continue their rigging machinery. Ghanaians will not allow that to happen. Tomorrow, the anger of the people will be shown on the streets.
And Kofi Adams is a national organizer of the NDC. They will be convening a demonstration this morning. We'll have Kojo Yanks and the rest of the team also bringing to us the latest highlight from the demonstration grounds. We'll be speaking to some notable personalities. I'm sure one of those notable personalities is the NDC's presidential hopeful, Sylvester Mensah, who already is challenging the basis for the decision to remove Charlotte Osei and her two deputies. He claims it is politically motivated.
Well, I think that this decision is contrived, it is arbitrary, and it is politically motivated. You can't say that the Electoral Commissioner is incompetent. This is a woman, the commissioner, who has organized one of the best elections ever in Africa and one of the best in our country. We are aware that government is shaking in the knowledge that if there should be an election today, they are gonna. And so this is just to clear the path to, as it were, entrench themselves in power by taking hold of state apparatus responsible for elections.
That's the NDC flag bearer hopeful, Sylvester Mensah. Now let's move. We'll also do some other stories and we'll tell you more. But properties were also destroyed. Scores of people could not sleep in their homes and traffic was disrupted for hours as commuters waded through flood waters in some parts of Kumasi after close to an hour of heavy downpour that was recorded towards the latter parts of yesterday. Major roads at Angloga Junction and the airport runabout were cut off as the Akufo-Addo storm drain failed to contain the volumes of water running through it. Lava FM's Erastus Asaridonko brings us more.
The rains started around 4:30 in the evening. It got heavy around 5 p.m. The Angloga Junction Amakum section of the Kumasi-Accra road was totally cut off. The Akufo-Addo storm drain could not contain the deluge of water coming in. The total fuel station at the junction was totally submerged. Traders had part of their wares swept off and others could be seen salvaging what they could. Bokrom Airport roundabout, parts of Dichemso, Krofrom were inundated with water. Scores of people walking from Adum and those whose vehicles could not cross were seen wading through the flood waters.
You see, just like my friend was saying, there is an overflow because of the heavy downpour. So the water from the bridges have found its way on the road. So you have to remove your slippers or whatever you are wearing in order for your foot to get a firm grip of the ground so that you can meander your way through to this side. If you don't have that courage you have to just turn back and go back to where you are going to. So it's quite a crazy experience. I wish there's something, they are going to do something about it so that such an issue will not happen again.
I walked through the water. So I just walked from a dune to Angloga Junction. But when we reach here, where the gutter is, that big gutter, the water overflow its banks. So the vehicles...
Was it difficult passing through?
So, but I realized that it has just reduced. So at the reduced place, man can walk through it.
City Mayor Osei Esibentwi described it as the worst flood seen in recent times in Kumasi. NADMO police and fire service personnel were on hand to help commuters cross safely. No casualties have since been reported. Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaridonko, Kumasi.
We now take you to Parliament, and the Energy Ministry is dismissing claims by the minority that the Minister of Energy, Boakye Jakon, is to be blamed for the recent shutdown of the Tema Oil Refinery. According to the minority spokesperson on energy, Adams Mutawakilu, the minister's recent announcement that the Tema Oil Refinery will be turned into a tank farm is what is making it difficult for the refinery to raise letters of credit to purchase fuel to operate. He has therefore called on the minister to work towards restoring confidence in the refinery.
Have a minister of energy at an international conference such as offshore technology conference as Houston, Texas, making a statement that they will convert Tor to a tank farm is sufficient information to investors and lenders. That means that the Tor is coming to an end. Now, Tor then going to the bank to take letter of credit, with this banker having in mind that soon Tor will be shut down. What do you think they will do? Definitely, they will have a problem with giving letter of credit to Tor. This is a facility, the machinery, they are in good shape. Today, if crude is there, they will process. But just this statement by the minister is the one that is crippling Tor.
What can be done to remedy the situation from your perspective?
The minister should state emphatically that Tor will not be turned to a tank farm. 1. 2, the minister must ensure the public that as part of payment of the legacy debt through ESLA, of which this government is now raising some money to settle the debt, and to assure people that this debt will be settled in due course through the next bond that will be issued.
But this has been disputed. Deputy Energy Minister Joseph Kudjo is dismissing the claims, accusing the minority of just making uninformed allegations.
TOR has told everybody, I don't want to talk at the level of opinion. I will talk at the level of what TOR says. It is exactly. They say the close down is a temporary measure to bring crude. That is the understanding we have. If somebody is saying the plan or the policy line which was emergent is the factor that led to TOR's closure today, then the person has not followed TOR's issues over the past 20 years. Why is TOR so popular? Is it popular all the years before this government came into power because it is doing so well, or because there were a lot of problems always there?
But how come don't they have crude oil right now? Because if you are working, you should always have your raw materials. Again, sticking to facts. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, TOR, as any processing company, should have raw input. This is something you process to your output, which is petroleum products. And the chief executive has indicated it's doing everything possible to bring in crude to process for the refinery to function. So we patiently wait for what he's doing. I know he has taken steps to achieve that.
Your colleagues think, unless there's as in your colleagues on the minority side, there's a reversal of that policy with a plan to turn it into a tank farm, they may never be able to resurrect, and get back into business. Does that policy still stand against sticking to the facts as per the situation?
I haven't known that policy as a policy that has been cast in stone at the moment. I haven't known that. Okay, I haven't known that.
So it's possible it may change?
It is. The reason why I'm saying I haven't known that is that when you are communicating a direction or a thinking, and it is taken as the policy formulated, approved, and communicated, then it's unfortunate. That is what is happening.
And that's it for the latest news updates. But remember, we'll bring to you, if it happens, a live demonstration that the leaders of the NDC say they'll be convening just in protest of the president's removal of the EC boss. That's Mrs. Charlotte Osei and 2 other deputies of the commission. And we know that he followed a petition to the Chief Justice, or to the president, which subsequently, per what the regulation of the constitution says, was forwarded by the president to the Chief Justice, and onward a committee was set up, and subsequently we've had those recommendations sent back to the president. The president has acted upon those recommendations. Now, that'll be it for the news. We'll have more news as we review the newspapers, and we'll also look at myjoyonline.com, the rest of the online portals. Remember, Benedict Owusu will be here with the latest updates from Russia 2018. It's where we have the World Cup groupings, and we already know that the chickens are coming home to roost. We already know who the big boys are, and ultimately we'll get to bring to you what the permutations per the pairings that are likely to be announced or have already been known for the group stages of the World Cup. But please get interactive with that. It's important for us. And so on Facebook, we have a regular page there. Fortunately for you, we also stream the live. Please go search for JoyNews on TV. And you can also stream and watch us live through our regular channel on YouTube, My Joy Online TV, and give us more messages on WhatsApp as and when you can. Right now, we have to take a break. When we come back, myself, Mama Vioso Abuaje, and Koje Yankson will be bringing to you review of the newspapers. We'll be looking at the stories, front, back pages, and the center spreads. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.